saw regional tennis championships held in Hamden. Now we'll start off with Foxcroft Academy against John Babb's Ponies. We get the first doubles win as Lucas Machado and Emilio Torrescano swept their sets. Babb's would get a double sweep off of their own as Sean Yan and Tyler Dorr won a perfect 12-0. The first singles win of the day went to Finn Eigen, taking both sets 6-4. And right here, this was the moment that Foxcroft clinched the Northern Crown as Jerry Wynn went a near-perfect 12-1 to win both of his sets. The Ponies are your Class B North champions, winning 4 of the 5 matches over the Crusaders. Number 1 Orono and number 2 Washington Academy went head-to-head in the North Boys Final. We have, to start off, Orono's Henry Butens takes the first set against Jose Zabala at number 3 singles. He would sweep. Orono's Bergen Soderberg smashes to win the first set over Carter Wanamaker at number 2 singles. He'd seal it in 2. Number 2 doubles, Orono's Al Cutter Wise and Dylan Dupuis win the first set against Urco Reno and Mateo Kuntius. Number 1 doubles, Orono's Ben Sidelko and Wes Kraus win in straight sets over Ashton Whitney and Pablo Cruz. And we're going to go back to number 2 doubles, Reno and Kuntius win the second set to tie the match. Wise and Dupuis rebound to win the tiebreaker 10-5. From there we go to number 1 singles. Orono's Nick Agrawal wins in straight sets over Carlos Perez. And the Red Riots win the Class C North over the Readers 5-0. From there, we have number 1 Piscataquis against number 2 Orono in the Class C Girls North Final. Number 1 doubles, Orono's Carmen Miller and Izzy Ireland win the first set over Kerrigan Wilson and Bella Beanie. Number 3 singles, the Pirates' Gabriela Cusielli wins the first set tiebreaker 7-3 over Chelsea Smith. Number 2 singles, Chloe Kimball of PCHS defeats Callie Soderberg in straight sets. Number 2 doubles, the Pirates' Audrey Chadbourne and Ava Goulet sweep Carly McCrum and Natalie Lamont. Now we go back to number 1 doubles. Wilson and Beanie win the second set to tie the match. They take the third 6-3. Number 1 singles, the Pirates' Ariana Crosby takes the first set over Natalie Vespoli, and Crosby caps off the straight set over Vespoli. And from there, we would go back to number 3 singles as Smith wins a second set tiebreaker 7-2 to force a third tiebreaker. Now, Cusielli strikes back to win that 10-4 as the Pirates claim Class C North 5-0 over the Red Riots.